Today we're building an earthen oven. We've built earthen ovens in the past and they have served their purpose. But in this situation, we need to feed an entire community, so we get to build a big oven, something I've always wanted to do. Let's get started. So when I say bigger, I mean a lot bigger. We want it to be at least twice as big as the ovens we've made in the past. That means we're gonna need 4 times as much material. This is our platform we're gonna build it on. We're gonna build it underneath this roof. It's gonna be a really nice setup close to the cabin and other places that we need. This platform, we're gonna have to build a whole layer of cob that's gonna go on here, plus bricks, fire bricks that go on top of that to make this completely fireproof, and it'll hold residual heat to help bake the bread. We're gonna be able to bake 4 or 5 times as much bread as we've been able to do before. So that's really important. This oven we're gonna construct a little differently than, say, our first oven, which we used a sand core. That probably isn't a very 18th century method. That's common for today, but not in the 18th century. They used more likely the basket method. So we've got to build a great big basket that we're gonna put all this clay on. Brandon's working on that.
My job today is to make the basket for this oven. Just a simple basket, doesn't have to be really pretty because it will get burned out. It has to be strong enough, however, to hold the clay. Now the measurements that we want are 32 inches in diameter and 22 inches high. And we're going to use these splits of ash to bend around our cross form here, and that'll give us our diameter and it'll give a nice sturdy support to that bottom ring. All these splits will be just tied with some hemp twine, and that'll hold it together long enough for the clay to harden up and cure, and then it'll all burn out, leaving just a solid shell of clay.
Basket. Look at that thing, it's massive. So Brandon, this basket looks great.
Thank you.
It does exactly what it needs to do. It has to be super strong. We have to take 6 inches of wet clay all the way around this thing. So it's got to be strong. It's very, very strong. Tying it together works really well. So now Nicole, Ryan, and I can start working on putting the clay around the dome, at least the back part of it. Brandon, you got to make the door section, and it needs, we want a 15-inch wide door so we can get something big in there, like a turkey or a big pie or a big loaf of bread. That's a problem with our current oven, is you can only get just a small loaf in there. So we want a big door, 15 inches wide, and the height of the door is important. We need to have a door height of 63% of the dome height. And you do that because of the way the air flows inside of the oven. If you don't make that dome height, this certain percentage of the door height, the oven can't breathe. There's no other holes for the oven to breathe. You have to suck air in the bottom of the door, and then the exhaust air goes out the top of the door. If that ratio isn't right, the oven doesn't heat up. So that should be 15 inches high. So it's 15 inches wide, 15 inches high. You can work on that frame while we start to put the clay on this. So from the side view, you can see that the dome is not perfectly round anymore. And we've been, as we add clay to the backside, it's kind of squishing this whole dome out this direction. As we add clay to this side, hopefully it will turn it back into the dome it's supposed to be. Even if it doesn't, it's still gonna work great. Don't worry, it's gonna work great. This is fit and flush and good. It's ready to go. There's our door.
It's gonna need a handle. I usually use wood, but with that new forge and blacksmith shop, I could hammer one out real quick.
That would be excellent. That'd be excellent.
For this oven door, I wanna make this handle a little decorative on the top, but it has to have a functional foot on the bottom so it stands upright. I want this to be a special handle for this special oven.
Hey, we're about there.
Oh yeah, that looks about 6 inches.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Great job on the handle. I love the look.
Thank you, thank you.
Seems like a simple door, but it's got a lot of meaning to it. The wood itself is from the same tree that we made the dugout canoe. This is an extra piece of wood from that. We don't waste anything. He went over and he cut the door over at the wood shop. He made the handle, the blacksmith shop. It all goes on this oven. And then what the oven's made out of, again, it's the same clay we used for the bricks. It's the same clay we used for the cabin, for the chimney, all that. It all comes together right here in this oven. I'm so excited about getting to use this oven. This is gonna be great.
Belly's better, John.
It looks great. So,
Yeah, I mean, it still comes out just
oven is looking great. That door is sitting in there perfectly. We've smoothed it all out. Now it's time to dry. We've set a couple little coals, little tiny fires around the base of it to firm that base up so that it doesn't sag. But it's looking really good right now. We're gonna let it dry a couple of days. Then in this next episode, we're gonna burn the inside out and then bake our first meal, a 3-course meal. That is, I just can't wait. That's gonna be great. If you want more on building earthen ovens, check out this playlist.